Hey, my friends, it's Patrick Allman from Stop Doing Nothing Media. And recently I've seen some requests or some issues when it comes to people sending out contracts or order form links, more so the contracts, and they want to know, how to remind people to sign their contracts, or sometimes they're losing deals due to them sending out a contract and it goes to spam or whatever, and the person moves on to, another provider because they were just waiting for the contract, and the agency didn't know that it went to spam. Um, we've got to make sure we've got some things, backup things in place for the conditions about when things go to spam, because the reality is with all the perfect DNS settings and all things we do in the world, things can still go to spam. So it's really important that when you have a client who's in a decision, a very pivotal decision making mode, that you get them the information they need ASAP and make sure they received it also. Okay, so this is an example here of how you can do that, and just use this as the basis of building your own. What you're seeing here is a workflow list of that basically mirrors my Kanban board or my opportunity board. Okay, this is one. I've got a few of those, but this is an example of one right here. And the pivotal ones I want you to pay attention to here are the send contract, contract pending, and contract assigned. So a lot of you will send a contract manually in a template, and then you'll just kind of wait around for it to be signed. I would encourage you to stop doing that. I would encourage you to add a pipeline stage that says send contract, and have that trigger the workflow that sends the contract, because then you can do stuff like goal tracking and also send reminders to staff and to the person to which the contract was sent. So you don't want to drop that ball when they want to give you money or when they want to sign a contract. Okay, so this is how this works. Again, we're going to focus on this one right here. When I know somebody is in the close to, is in a decision making mode, they're like, send me the paperwork right now, I drag the opportunity over to the send contract part of the Kanban board, and this one right here, this automation is the one that's kicked off. And ignore the stuff at the top. It's just Patrick. It's just conditional Patrick stuff. But what I do right down here is I send the contract, and then I text them, you've been sent the contract. And then I move them to the contract pending part of the Kanban board. I wait an hour. And then I notify myself that it hasn't been signed. And how do I know? I'll show you here in a second. And again, that's just kind of an awareness thing for me. I could also put a reminder here to the client. But again, if you send them, if they say, I'm ready to get started, and you send them something and it goes over an hour, that indicates to me some urgency on the issue. So in this case, I move them to pending, I wait an hour, I notify myself internally, and then I wait a day and I know myself internally. And then all of this kind of ends with the goal tracking, and not a lot of people use this goal tracking, and that's one of the things that I made another video for. It's over in the YouTube playlist. Is you have to use goal tracking more. And what this goal tracking is the whole point of a marketing sequence like this, or any kind of automation sequence, is some kind of goal. You want to click, you want them to sign, you want them to pay, something like that. So in this particular case right here, I want them to sign, and so I will remind myself until they sign a couple of times. And this contract sign goal right here says, basically the goal is adding a contact tag, contract sign. And then when the contract is signed, first of all, if they don't sign it, then I just stop the workflow. But if they do sign it, then I basically update the opportunity, move it to the next stage in the Kanban board, where I send them the order form. Now, how do I know if the contract is signed? Over here, I have another workflow that contract is signed. So when a contract is signed, which is one of our triggering options, there's a very short, simple workflow here. Okay, contract signed. Okay, signed, accepted, and then I apply a tag that says contract signed, and that tag is the tag in the other automation. Okay, so once the contract is signed, I apply the tag, I remove them from that workflow, and then I notify. I think I notify myself here that the contract was signed right there. Okay, so that's how you can basically remind yourself or remind the client that something is pending, especially, like I said, I'm not a professional salesperson. I've never claimed to be really great at sales, but I just know when someone's hot and they want to open up your wallet, you do not want to drop that ball. And so this is one way you can do it. And I'll put this, by the way, I'll put this video over on the YouTube playlist with all the other videos for those of you that are subscribed over there. Um, is again send that it was a send contract, and then the goal pulls them out. Like I said, the goal, this goal right here, and you guys really should be using goals more. Here it is right here. Um, it's yeah, right here. I'm sorry, I just lost my thing. A goal, and again, the goal is tag, and the tag comes from the other workflow. So I could have a whole series here of reminders and things to do, but then all that comes to a screeching halt once that tag is applied. So use goals more, and I would encourage you to only send order forms and only send contracts via workflows if and when and if possible. And by the way, the same thing is over here when I do the order form stuff, is I send them an order form and then I check, do I have an order? Do I have an order? Do I have an order? And if not, I start raising red flags. So customize this to your own use, but automate as much as possible in your business, and just kind of keep on top of those things, because we never know if our text messages or our emails go through. I mean, what if you send all this to somebody and they and for some reason they've gone D&D and you didn't know that? Let's say they've D&D your emails just because they didn't want them, or they've D&D your text messages. You want to notify them repeatedly, and in case that doesn't work, you want to notify your staff repeatedly to keep on top of it. Thanks, guys. Let me know what other videos I can make for you. Have a great weekend, and we will see you in the next video. And where's the frickin' stop record button? Oh, there it is. Here we go.